Hello everyone, and welcome back to part 57 of Build HMS Victory. So this is my first recording since I lost my dog Poppy. First of all, I want to start off by just saying thank you to everybody who left me some really nice comments, and it meant a lot. So I've been trying to do some videos all week, but I've been struggling for a little bit of concentration, a little bit of focus. So I know a lot of people were expecting me to finish this beacon off. And I will do. It's quite a difficult section at the minute, and obviously when I was trying to do little bits, I just found it was just going wrong. So as with any model, as people know, who's obviously model makers, that sometimes if things aren't quite going your way, just walk away from it, leave it for a couple of days, go and do something else, go and build a different model, and then come back to it. And then usually you and if you have any problems, normally a solution will kind of appear to you. So anyway, so what I thought I'd do, I've got loads of things to add onto the quarter deck, and obviously the steps and up into the poop deck. So I thought in this video I'd just work on the little steps that go up into the onto the poop deck. So that's what I've done. So anyway, hope you enjoy the video, and I'll see you after. Okay, so we're going to work on the steps that kind of come off the quarter deck onto a little landing, and then there's a little step up onto the poop deck. So in the instructions, the first thing it tells you to do is obviously just take a little bit of 4x4 and cut it to a 20mm length, so that it slips on this obviously curved section of fitting in, and it just finishes about 12mm along this edge. So the first thing you need to do is just cut a 20mm piece of stock out of a 4x4 mil. Okay, so I'll just cut this little piece of 4mm by 4mm, cut it 20mm long, and now we just need to slide it on this section. Just push it along until it gets up to the 12mm mark. Just clean off some of the excess glue. And now I just want to check the position. I want to leave it was a 4x4, but I wanted to make sure that I leave about 3mm sticking out, so then I can just adjust it. Okay, so now we need to add this little section of walkway before we hit the steps. So in the instructions, it kind of got you to come right to the end of the curve, which is around about 12mm. So I just need to add the thickness of this plank, which is 4mm. So I need to cut some length toward 16mm. But they obviously in the instructions they tell you to use 2 5x2mm planks just to make up this section. But actually in the real picture of Victory, it's actually made up of 4 planks. So what I'm going to do, instead of using 5x5s, instead of using 5x2s, I'm going to use 3x2s and add 4. Okay, so I've just cut these lengths. These are 3x2. In fact, actually 3x1.5. I just cut them at 20mm, so it's a little bit longer than I need. So when we did all the main decking for all the decks, I'll give you a technique where you use a black marker pen and you just paint along these edges, paint or mark along these edges which represent the decking. So when you push them together, you can see a bit of like a black line. But the trouble is, what I found when I was sanding it after, that even though the marker had dried, it still seemed to smudge the pen around, and I weren't over that keen of that. So I want to try something else. I just wanted to try using a bit of a technique where you just add a little bit of, obviously, a rope. This is really small, it's only 0.3 black rope. And I'm just going to apply a bit to the edges. So I'm just using a bit of super glue, and I'm just going to run it across this edge. And I'm just going to take a little bit of this, well, it's more string than rope, sorry. take a bit of this string and just run it along the top edge. And just let the super glue take it. So now when we put the two planks together, they get like there's a slight thickness of black string that's going to represent the caulking that they filled in after all the deckings have been put down. They use like a, there's probably a lot more people know it better than me, but they use some kind of like tar and they fill it in along these seam lines. I actually watched somebody doing the technique. It looks really good. So I just think a little bit of this black string is just going to make it just stand out a little bit more. So anyway, let me know what you think. Okay, I'll just carry on doing the rest of these and we'll come back. Okay, so just after adding this string to the next 4 pieces, then I'll just glue these together. And I'll just glue them onto a piece of 4mm by 0.5. So all now I just want to do is just add an end cap. And this can be sanded and smoothed over. Okay, so leave that to dry and we'll sand it back. Okay, so after just letting the glue dry, I just rounded off the edges slightly, get a bit of a bull's nose, and now it's time to be fitted to this plank, fitted to this timber that we added before, and it's going to sit something just like that. But before we do that, I just need to paint all this section in black. Okay, so after just finishing off this platform, rounding off the edge to make a little bull's nose, now it's time just to glue it into place. A bit tricky, kind of trying to hold it up to there. So now we can just take one of the step runners and we can mark it from the position it wants cutting. I see, it looks like we can only actually get 4 steps in. And on the real Victory is 8, but yeah, here's what it is. Okay, so I've just made up some little steps. It's 4 steps going from the quarter deck onto the little platform, and we have a step up onto the poop deck. And they're just going to sit like that. Okay, so now I just need to paint them black, but you can paint the whole thing black if you want, but I think I'm going to try and just paint the edges black and leave the steps natural. Okay, so after painting the steps, I've just slightly weathered the treads just to make it a little bit more realistic. I'm going to have to weather all this deck because obviously I'm building it. I started to build it a bit more. It's starting to stand out a little bit too way too clean. If you look at pictures of Victory as well, I'm not sure how it looks to other people. For me, it looks very grey. So yeah, so I'm trying to go for like, all I've done is use like a bit of a watered down grey. Obviously it's going to dry a lot clearer than that, it's quite fresh, but hopefully that'll look okay. So now I can just, this can be glued into place. So I'm just applying a little bit of super glue. I want it obviously flush with this edge. And I've also just got a little edge cap that I'm just going to fit. That's just going to cover that edge. Okay, so one of the next steps we need to do, get these little baluster rails as part of the kit, and obviously they have them. Then where you just drill them in and fit them on the top of the steps, then you work out. But obviously what I thought I would do, I've just taken some and I've just fitted them on the end of a 2x2. They can be glued and fit to the edge of the steps and the edge of the walkway. Look a little bit more realistic. Well, as best as we can. So now I'm just going to take one of these little baluster rails and I'm going to glue it just flush in the bottom and that walkway, and then we can make another one, glue it into this section, and that'll give us this handrail. So now we can take the second one. This is just cut slightly longer. It's cut at 7mm long, and this has been cut at 10. And this can rest up against, facing the wrong way. And then when we get this cap in, it goes along there. It's gonna fit okay. It's gonna look okay. Okay, so I have to fit these two columns and now to fit this handrail. And no matter what I did, no matter obviously how I tried to position my hands, I could just not film it right and get my hands in the shot. So, but pretty much all I did is I fed it through this one first, and then I just, twisted it, got this section, and then bent it, and then bent it again and fed it into the steps. So that's pretty much how I did that procedure. But if I was doing it again, in which I am on this section, I wouldn't attach this platform first. I'd actually build the platform to the steps, add all the rail, and then glue it into the final position. So yeah, so if I was doing it again, which I am, and like I say, it's just a practice build. So am I happy with it? Not 100%, no. But when I do this side, it'll be a lot better than that side, and that's pretty much how it is with this HMS Victory build. And also I just lowered this position of this column as well, because when I noticed it was just way too high. It was correct to the Victory in real life, but it just started to look out of scale. On the drawing, how they have it, they have this pretty much handrail just resting on this piece here. So yeah, so I didn't want it looking too odd, and I think it looks okay. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you all next time.